Welcome to Leveraging Inspiration, the Inspired Patent Podcast. Artificial intelligence can help you select and protect a brand. In this episode, we're going to tell you how. I'm Wayne Carroll, your host, here to share valuable insights, stories, and strategies for succeeding in intellectual property. Let's dive into the game of IP and learn how to win. This podcast is not legal advice, but is strictly educational and informational. Listening to this podcast or reading show notes does not establish an attorney-client relationship. The world changed through COVID. One clear change is the number of trademarks filed in the United States. The number has more than doubled. Trademark office is backed up and they're working hard to get enough examiners to work on that backlog. But that also indicates that trademarks are more crowded. There are more people trying to find a brand that works for them, and there are more conflicts happening. How do you prevent that? How do you work through it and select your brand or your business that's not going to be a problem with others? Well, here's a guide to using artificial intelligence to select and protect your brand. The first thing really is you need to know who you are. I have been working with Entrepreneur Operating System. It's one of many, one that I really like, many business development systems. And with the Entrepreneur Operating System, or EOS, they have guided our company and they guide thousands of companies through a process to figure out what are their core values and list those out and make them part of the company or make them more acknowledged in the company. You want to discover what they are. And if that needs to change, then you really need to change the business. Writing down what is the purpose of the business? What is the cause or the passion? And what is the value you bring to customers? Writing these things down will help you determine what is going to work for your brand. And it's also going to help you in your business as you want to continually look back at these and say, yes, that's where I'm headed. And your brand can be part of that. What is your niche? What does your business look like in 10 years from now? I've met several business owners that have selected a name that really had big, like global dreams in the name when they started out of their garage. But they kept that name, helped keep them focused, and they built it. They became that global or that large thing because it was in their name. It constantly reminded them that that's what they were working to achieve. So these are some of the things you want to gather. You may also want to be gathering, what is your target market? Who are they? Is there what are good ways to describe them? And what are your uniques? What kind of competitive advantage do you have? What is it that they can't get anywhere else? The customers can't get anywhere else. Your combination of what you do and what you offer. So those are things that you want to gather first. And once you've gathered that, you can start to describe it, write it out in a document, and then you can use AI to start hunting. So first step was gathering. The second step is hunting. Now, currently, as we talked about in the last episode, ChatGPT is going to learn from whatever you tell it. So these things we've been discussing is confidential information. There are more and more opportunities to use AI without disclosing the information, without training the AI. Those are going to cost. And right now you need a developer to implement a system for you. And then you're going to pay per query. I expect these are going to be coming out sooner and sooner. This is all very new here in June of 2023. But as that happens, then you can move forward with this strategy, if you want to take the risk and put some or parts of your who you are as it, which may be considered confidential information for you, you can put into ChatGPT and understand that it's learning and it's training. So you can use AI to direct efforts to strong trademarks. Let me discuss, as we've discussed before, what a strong trademark is. Strong trademark, defined by the trademark office and the courts, are ones that are arbitrary or fanciful. Apple is a great example of arbitrary. It's a word. We know what an apple is, but the fruit apple has nothing to do with computers. So when applied to computers, the word apple is arbitrary. That makes it a strong trademark. Fanciful is a made-up word. It might be a combination of two words, like Starbucks. Yeah, it's a made-up word. And so you can actually put parameters into the AI. As an example, I asked ChatGPT to suggest 10 arbitrary or fanciful trademarks for a business with the following attributes. And I asked it where the .com URL is available. So I gave it some core values: team players, can-do attitude, learn and improve, customer service, reliable, do the right thing. I gave it some 3 uniques. So I just grabbed some different ones from the web. I wasn't ready to put my own in there, but and then it gave me 10 suggestions. And when I looked into the 10 suggestions, because I asked it for 10, I double checked through GoDaddy, and the names were actually available. Some of them were premium domains, which means GoDaddy says, yes, you can have this, but you're going to pay $3,000 or $4,000. Sometimes it's a couple $100. Sometimes it's less than $100. So it varies all over the place, and you can repeat this process, which is often what you need to do in a trademark hunt, trying to find a trademark that works for you and your company, that describes who you are. There are professionals that work through this process with you, and that's one way to do it confidentially. And contact me if you want to go through that process. That's not what I do, but I'm connected with people who do that, who work with you on who you are. What do you want to say about yourselves in your brand? How's that brand going to help focus your culture, your vision, your execution, and then, compares what's available, what's going to work. And when you have usually what often happens is there will end up being a list that look like they work. Maybe 3, maybe 10 potential trademarks. So now the part of the hunt is actually going to be working with AI to do some searching. So we have a tool that we pay for access to that's in AI, where we can search multiple trademarks at a time and start with a broad search in terms of getting a real quick response of yes or no on brands, and then go deeper as we narrow down our options. So that's where an AI is. We are currently using it because it's a paid subscription. We're not risking confidential information by using that as ChatGPT would. And of course, they're tied in very carefully to the current databases of the Patent and Trademark Office in the United States. So once the trademark has been selected, first thing I recommend to do is secure that domain name. And of course, keeping this confidential before is very important. I have had clients tell me that they had selected a name, they filed a trademark themselves before grabbing the .com, and the next day they went to grab it and somebody already had and wanted hundreds or thousands of dollars to buy it when they could have gotten it for $5 to $20 for a year. And so that actually does happen. So as you are going through this process, the names you're selecting, you do want to keep that confidential so other people don't try to undermine you or take advantage of you. And once you've secured the domain name, you want to work with, also make sure the trademark search you're doing looks at common law or what's actually in use. And you can file for the trademark. We recommend, if you're going through this process, file for the trademark as soon as you've made a decision and have secured the domain name and other necessary assets. You don't have to use the brand before you file. And I believe we've discussed this on previous podcasts about an intent to use filing, and it has a lot of advantages. You want to launch your brand, complete the trademark process, which right now is going to take a year or more to be completed. And then once it's registered, you can use AI tools to track other people's use and monitor and enforce your trademark rights as you need to. One of the tools we use also does offer monitoring, so we can get regular reports on here's who's filed a trademark in your category that might be close to your name. So we can just review those quickly on a regular basis and decide, is this something we need to take action on, send a cease and desist letter, or just watch it to see what's happening. So there was a lot of AI involved in this process. And I know this week we've gone through some of the scary things of AI. So I wanted to end with an use case and application that we're actually using AI to a certain degree in the business. Of course, constantly double checked and verified by humans, experts, and it enhances our ability to get our job done rather than we're not being replaced. I'm Wayne Carroll, and this is Leveraging Inspiration.
If they actually look at the data and go into sparring with their colleagues, which are electricians or electric engineers,